Hi, I'm Jonny off of Fast Bikes magazine. I'm just one of their snappers, but they've given me this to look after, even though I'm useless at all things biking. So far I've ridden it a bit and stuck some bits to it, and there will be more of that to come, but as promised some time ago, we're going back to the actual beginning of this story now, to Silverstone, when this GSX-S1000F was brand new. BJ here had talked me into doing a job swap feature for the mag, which comes out at about the same time as this video. So, a track day, not my first, but still makes me nervous, and well, over to me.
So you were a bit nervous before you went out, weren't you, Jonny?
I was. I felt terrible. I didn't feel sick. I did feel pretty awful. I mean, I haven't felt that kind of dread. It was dread. I didn't want to do it.
I know people say it's the best job in the world, and it really is. But you know, you've also got a lot of responsibility, especially financially, if you start crashing things.
Yeah.
So, but I was watching you, and you seemed all right. And I told you weren't going to be the slowest person on the track, and you weren't.
No, I wasn't. I was lucky because I was near the front, and that's Paul's bike there. I was following Paul, whose pace for the first session, for like a novice person me, was absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. It was, firm braking, but not late and hard. It was acceleration. He's on a 600. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have to really try to keep up with him on the straights. Towards the end, when I was getting a bit used to it, it started actually being fun.
Okay.
So we've gone from dread to fun in about a quarter of an hour.
And I'm willing to bet you haven't got a single thing to think about the bike.
I'm finding the throttle response a little bit snatchy.
It does that.
Do I have to get used to that?
You do, and it will get better with time. You'll adjust your own risk. But what are your first thoughts of the bike?
It's a quality item. That's obvious straight away. I felt a little bit of wallow on a couple of bits of track, which is probably the track's fault.
Already?
Paul on the 600 was going a reasonable speed around the turn, so a little bit of wallow. I mean, I'm not going to start even thinking about suspension. That's just too much to think about. But as I was saying to Paul just now, I managed to not crash, and I managed to be in the same gear at the same point every lap, and that's all I wanted to do.
So, Jonny, how was today?
Today was great. I'm very relieved that we're on the way home and I was able to take off my horrible, uncomfortable leathers.
And weren't one of the poor unfortunates that seemed to fall off in every single session you went out in?
At least one per session had an unfortunate incident. A couple of them, I wouldn't wish ill on anybody, but a couple of them, that was towards the end of the session and I was kind of glad to see a red flag. I get tired really quickly from hanging on too tight and my arms start to hurt. So
by the end of the day, you knocked at least 30 seconds off where you started from. Amazing. But I think most of all is you actually managed to look the real deal, mate.
Thanks, Beach. I was surprised how I kind of got on with it okay. Basically, my plan for the day was, because I've seen Charlie do track days and CSSs and things like that quite a few times, I really like the way Charlie rides on a track day. He plays himself in, he takes his time, he doesn't try and do too much too soon, and he kind of does building blocks. So I've taken Charlie as my inspiration, trying to do one thing right at a time. So the first session, the one thing right I was trying to do was not crash. The second session, the one thing was be in the same gear at the same point at every lap. And then after that I had some input from you to do with a couple of things for session 3, but I can't remember what that was.
Corners for a start, especially the final 2 right-handers. Also body position as well, although in this case not so much to help you go around corners, but to make you look like you could go around corners and knew what you were doing. But it does help, because it'll put you a bit more into the stance that track demands. So that helped, didn't I? Basically, you're going too slow out of the penultimate right-hander. Well, out of the left-hand 90-degree corner, and then the immediate, which is penultimate right-hander. You're going too slow around there. So you're not even using half the track. So I think I told you, because you had traction control, just get on the gas. As soon as you go around that right-hand corner, just get on the gas, You could have gone full gas because the traction control would have taken care of you, and that will make you pull out wide, closer to the rumble strip on the left-hand side, and then that makes a natural arc to get a much faster line through the corner. And if I'm not much mistaken, Jonny, you went knee down almost straight away through there after that.
BJ is correct. Yeah, I found that gave me a lot more room in the tight right, or coming out of the tight right. So there was just so much more time to sort myself and the bike out, to have a little knee to tarmac interface, and then sort myself out and line myself up for the fast last corner onto the start-finish straight. Over the course of the morning, I did have some time behind an instructor, or behind some people that were behind an instructor. So I did kind of pick up the right line in a couple of places from an instructor, kind of accidentally. So that's probably the benefit of today, was that they just, because we were the, what we called Street Smarts 1, being as we were in Street Sports hash number 1, they did lob out quite a few instructors to spend time kind of nearly everybody over the course of the morning, so that worked out really well.
Be honest with you, Jonny, I think I've seen you smile more today than for the entire 8 years I've known you.
Well, the 1000F and a sunny August track day will do that to anybody. So I would say now is the time to be thinking about booking onto a track day. As you can see, it doesn't matter how fast you want to go, treat it as a safe place to use all the throttle and all of the revs. And handily, the same bends come round every couple of minutes, so you can build a good bit of muscle memory. The half of Silverstone circuit I was on was very enjoyable, but if it looks a bit posh for you, then you might like Castle Combe, particularly if track riding is new to you. There are fewer riders out, the sessions are shorter, and remembering which way the track goes isn't too difficult. Next time, I would have stuck yet more goodies to the GSX-S and gone for a really long ride. Maybe. I'm not on Facebook, but here's my email address.